So a friend recently asked me a question that gave me a lot to think about. He asked if there was one movie that I think more parents or classrooms should show to kids, what would it be? And I came up with the usual suspects. Harry Potter to teach them the value of friendship, or Narnia to teach them the importance of a great imagination, or even Tomorrowland to show them what a great scientific mind can achieve. But eventually I thought the perfect answer was a less popular movie that came out last year, which was Kubo and the Two Strings. Now, Kubo wasn't even my favorite animated movie of last year, but his story is so different to what we typically spoon-feed our children that I definitely think that it's the most important kids' movie that's come out in a long while. See, the driving plot around most kids' movies, and in particular Disney movies, revolves around overcoming a loss. Simba loses his dad, Bambi loses his mom, Cinderella loses both, Ariel loses her voice, Aladdin loses his freedom, and people are losing stuff everywhere. The difference with Kubo, and what in my mind makes it so important, is that that loss only comes much, much later in the movie. So when it does happen, it's much more powerful, because it isn't just some plot device to drive Kubo's story forward. When it happens, he has to move on despite it. He has to pick himself up and keep going. See, the whole movie revolves around Kubo putting together these mystical pieces of armor so that he can defeat his evil grandfather. See, his grandpa is this, cruel, unempathetic sky god who comes out at night and kind of loves to terrorize the human population below. And so as Kubo's going on this quest, he meets these two other characters who are these anthropomorphic animals. So there's monkey and there's beetle. And they turn out to actually be... And they turn out to actually be his parents who've been cursed by his grandpa. And so over the course of the movie, he gets to spend time with them and bond with them. He has a dinner with them, which is something he thought he'd never have. He goes on these crazy adventures with them. And just in general, they have lovey-gooey times together. But then, just before they get the final piece of armor to defeat his grandpa, both his parents are brutally murdered. He doesn't have time to wallow in sadness, and their deaths don't provide some greater meaning in the plot. They're actually just gone, and it feels like your heart's been ripped out of your chest. But Kubo completes his quest anyway, and he saves the world from this great evil. At the end, he knows he has to go on living his life without his parents. Even though they'll always be in his heart, they'll never be on Earth together again. So why is that important for kids? Well, it's because unlike in a lot of Disney movies, there isn't a cheat for death. There's no genie's wish or life-giving kiss, and Kubo doesn't end up with a family that loves him just as much as his parents did before. All he's got is old, forgetful grandpa now. Kubo and the Two Strings doesn't dumb death down, but it teaches you that when the tragic does occur, you need to push on and move forward. Very often, there isn't a good reason why a loved one dies, and their death isn't going to put you on some path to just be a fairy princess. It's going to happen, and it's going to suck. But the best thing you can do is keep moving forward. You have to keep on living, even if the people you love aren't with you anymore. Kubo and the Two Strings doesn't sugarcoat that, and it doesn't talk down to its audience either. And it's because of that that I think it's one of the most important animated movies for kids that's come out in quite a long while. That was depressing. But hey, it's not all sad. It's also a highly imaginative action-adventure fantasy movie with origami magic and giant skeleton monsters. So get it in ya, you fool! See, the movie revolves around Kubo putting together these different pieces of armor so that he can defeat his grandpa. Now his grandpa isn't some old dude who's just like, "Arr!" My cane! Kubo, bring me my cane!